wanted to welcome you all to our little coffee table talk about some of the accuracies and inaccuracies of the wonderful film Oppenheimer. I'd like to introduce Katie, Kathy, and Kristen, and we'll just go ahead and start talking.
So one topic that was definitely inaccurate in the film, the town's layout.
Yes.
The exteriors, I don't quite know how to phrase this. They had some technical area buildings. I didn't see any residential.
You're correct there, and I'm not sure why they didn't include some of those, because that was some of the biggest topic of contention with the scientists during the time.
And I think when they showed the original selection of the site, it was a big open blank area. And part of the reason they did choose this site was there were structures. There was already, Fuller Lodge was here. There were, what, 6, 7, 8 ranch cottages. There was the trading post. So there were a lot of buildings here, but the way they portrayed it in the building, and then I think, was it Groves that said, build us a town?
Yep, build them a town. Yes.
They certainly did build housing and apartments and that for the families to live in, other than just the ranch school cottages that were already in existence. But we didn't see those in the film, the apartments or anything, so the town site was not as accurate as other parts of the film were.
But it was certainly a very dramatic landscape that they created to show how desolate it really was out here. Except for the mud. They didn't talk about the mud, which I was a little kind of bummed out about, honestly, because there was nothing but mud up here.
And how dare they have a few sidewalks, too.
That's right. I know. There were no sidewalks, so you're right, totally.
If there were, they all got buried in mud eventually.
That's right. So,
Everyone's shoes were too clean.
yes. We should give a shout out to Abiquiu, the town of Abiquiu, because
Yes.
that's where it was. That's where they laid the town out for the set.
Another topic to bring up is each of the scientists' badges. The codes, K6 for Oppenheimer, and then each of the others that you would see on their civilian ID along with the code across. Did any of you catch inaccuracies or see anything odd?
I thought I did. I thought I saw Oppenheimer with a different number on it during the Trinity test down here.
Right.
It looked like it was a different number, like C10 or something. But I didn't really catch it because, as you guys know, I was...
I didn't see that. I just always saw him with the K6, which is what we know is his
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
But you're right, Katie. We should look again next time we watch it. We'll
Yes.
The sixth time.
When we can actually pause the film and look at the items.
Yep.
Right.
Let's see. Kitty in the kitchen. Her coming into town and making a comment about there not being a kitchen on the Oppenheimer house. Originally, Fuller Lodge was a dining hall during the ranch school era. Would there have been a stove inside the Oppenheimer house for quick meals, but not enough to be up to Kitty's standards?
There was a hot plate in a cupboard in the dining room. That's all there was. There was no designated kitchen. And honestly, what she wanted was a designated dining room. And to have a designated dining room, she had to have a designated kitchen. And they did build her a kitchen on what was a screened porch at the cost of $9,000 back then. So yes, that she did get her kitchen, but slightly different than it was portrayed, a little more detail.
Oh, yeah.
And as more and more visitors come to Los Alamos and we do get the Oppenheimer house open, people will be able to see it.
Another accuracy or inaccuracy were the scenes surrounding the Trinity test. The line of lights going up to the tower for the B-29 was actually accurate. There was one taking off from Albuquerque, coming down to fly over, drop sensors, except it was too cloudy and he couldn't come anywhere near.
And did they want to also make sure that they knew that the pilots would be able to escape, basically,
Yes.
and be safe?
And you can speak to this, Katie. Were you involved in finding photographs of what the interior of the bunker and the control center would have looked like? And so that was pretty accurate based on photographs that you supplied to the film crew, or no? It was inaccurate? Okay, but you did supply photographs of what that would have looked like?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't tell if it's because they were unable to find the exact machinery that were in the photos that I had found in the drawings and descriptions, or if it was, it looks better this way. But the just bare light bulb hanging above one of the workstations, that part was definitely accurate. The Kistiakowski running outside and leaning against the hill of the bunker. I'm not sure if it was actually him himself, but there was definitely someone who ran out, and the back doors of the bunker were open when the bomb was detonated, and it brought in light and surprised the people who were watching the detonation, because there's something coming in behind us.
Do you want to talk about that funny little story?
Well, that it wasn't in the movie.
No, it wasn't.
Well,
It's fun, still.
Kirsty, being the explosives engineer for the project, as they were leading up to the test and creating the gadget, he did take his explosives and blew up tree stumps and trees up in the Jemez Mountains here in Los Alamos, and he did that to create a ski hill for the scientists. It is called Sawyer's Hill, and we do still have the ski hill here in Los Alamos. It's not our big public ski hill now, but we do still have it, and it was Kirsty that used his explosives to create that. But that was not in the film.
The presence of horses here in Los Alamos and how important they were.
That wasn't touched on in the film at all.
Just Kitty riding into the woods to try and find Robert.
And I think that was just showing that the two of them did enjoy riding together, and they did spend a lot of time doing that. But I do agree with you, they did not show the importance of the horses and what it was, absolutely, because especially during the ranch school prior to the Manhattan Project, as we all know, boys were taught a lot of equestrian talents.
I was just going to follow up on that when you were saying they showed the scene where Kitty rides out to find Robert, showing the importance of riding for them in here while they were in Los Alamos. But I think the film, for me, in the very beginning, where they're condensing the early years of Robert's life and how he did struggle, he had some difficulties when he was overseas studying. I think all of that was very, very well done. I mean, because if, you know, when you look at American Prometheus and how much detail that goes into, I think they did a really good job of condensing that and explaining how he developed to be this theoretical physicist.
I have a question. I don't know if any of us can accurately answer it. It's about the apple. Yes, he did poison an apple for one of his tutors, but Niels Bohr never came near that apple, right? I don't think that he did. I've not read that anywhere. So that part, I'm like,
We'll have to call Kai and ask him if he knows.
That and find the
So-
travel logs of Niels Bohr.
Exactly. Yep. So really, everyone out there in TV land, definitely go watch this film. It's great. If you have a chance, come up to Los Alamos and watch it here at SALA. Big shout out to Alan and everyone connected with SALA for making a great event center. And what else shall we say? Anything else?
Grateful to be here and let them use our furniture.
Absolutely. That's it. So thank you all.